They just put another chair in, that's why.
Yeah.
They're sitting over here because they didn't have a chair. Let me get more.
Yeah.
Yep. There's Sunday ritual. We talked about.
Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
Yes. Thank
I'm sure.
Seek first the kingdom of heaven, and all shall be added. Seek first the kingdom of heaven, and all shall be added. Seek first the kingdom of heaven, and all shall be added. Seek first the kingdom of heaven, and all shall be added.
So I invite you to rise and take someone's hand as you feel comfortable doing so before you sit down again. Yeah, let's take a deep breath. Allow ourselves to center in. Become aware of the fullness of the Spirit right here, right now, as we join in singing Surely the Presence. And let us pray. Let's take another deep breath in. And let my words be your words. Holy Spirit, to thee I raise my whole being, a vessel empty of self. Accept, O Lord, this my emptiness, and so fill me with thy love, thy life, and thy light, that these thy perfect gifts may radiate through me and overflow the vessel of my heart into the hearts of all those I come in contact with this day, revealing unto them the beauty of thy wonder and thy joy and the serenity of thy peace, which nothing can destroy. Another deep breath. We've all come here to be openings for God, to allow the Christ to breathe its breath, its ruha through us. And so I invite you today to notice if there's any resistance, anything that might be blocking that flow, anything that might be blocking the flow of your abundant good, any place where you're saying no, and maybe unconsciously. Let's offer those places, those dark, heavy places up, that we might truly become a channel, an opening, a doorstep, a doorway. Woo! Cancel that one, release that one. We are a doorway, we are a doorway, we are an opening. We are an opening. I am an opening for God. I am an opening for God. Oh, and I want to center us in our power, our spiritual gift of power. It is located in our throat. So as we say together, I am powerful for God, let that come through your throat. Say that with me. I am powerful for God. I am powerful for God. I am powerful for God. So strong, and that is the truth. Amen and amen. Woo.
Here comes Sherry Gaudette singing Curtis Haynes' song. Go Curtis too. This is so strong.
So strong, so strong, singing with the voice of God. So strong, so strong, singing with the voice of God. Let me tell you about the love I feel, singing with the voice of God. Let me tell you about a love so real, singing with the voice of God. So strong, so strong, so strong, singing with the voice of God. So strong, so strong, so strong, so strong, singing with the voice of God. Let me tell you about the hope I feel, singing with the voice of God. of God. So strong, so strong, so strong. Singing with the voice of God. Hallelujah. 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 Singing with the voice of God. Hallelujah. 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 Singing with the voice of God. Let me tell you about the faith I feel, singing with the voice of God. Let me tell you about a faith so real, singing with the voice of God. So strong, so strong, so strong, so strong, singing with the voice of God. So strong, so strong, so strong, so strong, singing with the voice of God. So strong, so strong, so strong, singing with the voice of God. So strong, so strong, so strong, singing with the voice of God. Hallelujah. 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 Singing with the voice of God. Hallelujah. 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 Singing with the voice of God.
Yeah, give it up for Sherry. That song was written for her by Curtis Haynes.
Yeah. All right. Unity on the River is a center of celebration, transformation, inspiration, spirit-centeredness, oneness, and joy. Let us know these truths as we say together our mission and then our vision statement. We are a vibrant spiritual community that celebrates the presence in all and awakens humanity to its divinity. In our vision, centered in love, we joyously co-create a world of oneness, peace, and harmony. Yes. So good morning, I'm Reverend Shipley Allinson. I'd like to welcome anyone who's celebrating with us for the first time. If you would raise your hand, we have a flower for you. Anybody here for the first time today? All right, keep that hand up. We won't bite you. Great. Oh, there's 3 people. Wonderful. 4. Yes. Wow. Well, please know we welcome all paths to God, and we love having you here. We affirm that you're here by divine appointment and you will receive something that is perfect for your spiritual journey. Thank you for being with us. And if you go to someone will introduce themselves to you after the service today. And if you go out with them to the welcome table, they'll give you a CD that tells you more about us. Thank you so much for being with us. We love having you here. Did I say we're a church of celebration? Woo! How was Friday night? Woo! That was one unbelievable auction gala. Oh boy, did we dance the night away. It was one fabulous time. I'm just so grateful. Yeah. I want to thank everybody who participated, all the donors, all of the sponsors, all of our benefactors. I want to thank especially David Randon, who made our gala. David, are you here? You're here somewhere, I know. You stand. He made the gala brochure. Wasn't that just absolutely gorgeous? Yeah. Yes, Jane? And thank all the people that donated tickets so other people can come. Yes, that was so. How many did we have? I can't hear you. We had about 30 tickets donated so that other people could come. Wow. And we had, I don't know, how many volunteers do you think we had, Bill? We had so many volunteers working on this gala. Actually, I'd like them all to stand up. Everybody who was a volunteer for the gala auction, would you stand up just so we can see you? Because you were phenomenal. Yeah, the gala team.
Coordinated by Carol Wallerzak.
Yes, and Carol Wallerzak led us all. She's here, Carol! Woo! She was amazing, and she kept her cool through a lot of really challenging times. So bless her. She stands in the presence, doesn't she? Wow. And Cecile and John Mayer were our host and hostess. They were so great to have. Let me think. What else? Everybody who donated something. Everybody who donated something, stand up. Yeah, I'd like to honor all of you. Thank you. Yeah. Come help me.
She's going Michelle and Taps down.
Yes, and Mickey, our MC, and Michelle, our tap snap. Did anybody have their picture taken? We had some great pictures that came through. Yes. And she what? And just so that you know, we don't have the final numbers yet, so I don't want to give them to you, but they were better than last year. Jane will give you the breakdown at the community meeting, which leads to my next announcement, which is that we are having a community meeting. We have how long is the break in between? 5 minutes. 15 minutes? Enough to get coffee and get something, then come back in. It's an important community meeting. We will talk about all kinds of things. I want to talk about what the next 6 months are going to look like a little bit, too. So hope you can be there. All right. And Michael Meerdad comes next week. Jane, is there something else you want to say? I'm sorry, what? Yes, in the next group. I hope it's on there. Is it on there? I gave him so many things. And when I do the next group of announcements, but just so that everybody knows, everybody loves it when Michael Meerdad comes. He is a spiritual teacher from Sedona. He brings his own energies, his own light, his own interpretation of the Course in Miracles, and he's a fabulous, fabulous teacher. And he has sessions, private sessions that people can sign up for. Okay. Let's take time now to greet each other. And this is our time when we invite you to really see each other. Remember who you are. I see you. I see your magnificence. Woohoo! This is the culmination of our adventure in faith. Is everybody feeling faithful, full of faith? I hope that you have been transformed in some way and you have grown closer and closer to who you came here to be. Please join me in welcoming Maura Lynch, and she will sing about that, who I was born to be. Thank you.
I was a child. I could see the wind in the trees, and I heard a song in the breeze. It was there calling out my name. But I'm not a girl. I have known the taste of defeat, and I find believe it'll all come around again. Though I may not know the answers, I can finally say I'm free. And if the questions let me hear, then I am who I was born to be. So here am I, open arms and ready to stand. I've got the world in my hands. It feels like my turn to fly. Though I may not know the answers, I can finally say I'm free. And if the questions let me hear, then I am who I was born to be. When I was a child, there were flowers that bloomed in the night, unafraid to take in the light, unashamed to have braved the dark. Though I may not know the answers, I can finally say I'm free. If the questions let me hear, then I am who I was born to be. I am who I was born to be.
Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Awesome, Maura. Bless you. Thank you. All right. So Rachel Naomi Raymond is one of my favorite teachers. This is from her book, Kitchen Table Wisdom. She writes of a young gentleman who got separated from his group of skiers and spent 3 days in sub-degree temperatures in the snow. And he developed severe frostbite, and gangrene was developing, and so they sent him to the hospital where she was working. And she was working with him while they decided whether or not they needed to do an amputation, and they really hoped that they would not need to. But as days went on and the gangrene spread and the toxins started filling his body, they said that they were going to have to amputate one of his feet, and he flat out refused. And so days went on, and he got sicker and sicker, and finally all the doctors, a group of doctors, came in to see him and told him, that he would die if he didn't have this foot amputated soon. And so I want to read to you some sections from this passage. In the midst of this discussion, his fiancée, overwhelmed by the possibility of her beloved's death, was driven beyond endurance. Weeping, she tore his engagement ring off her finger and thrust it onto the swollen black little toe of his right foot. "I hate this damned foot," she said. "If you want this foot so much, why don't you marry it? You're going to have to choose. You can't have us both." The young man said nothing and closed his eyes with weariness. Weary ourselves, we left to continue the medical rounds. The next day, he scheduled his surgery. And so she stayed with him for the next period of time, and when the 2 weeks before he was to be married, she had the final consultation with him, and she asked him, why did he change his mind? And he said, seeing the diamond on his toe had shocked him. Jenny had been right. He had been married to his foot. Her dramatic gesture had helped him to see for the first time that he was more attached to keep his foot than he was committed to his life. This passage is called attached or committed, by the way. He had been more attached to keeping his foot than he had been committed to his life, to their life together. Yet it had been the promise of that life that he had clung to, that had enabled him to survive those 3 days alone in the snow. While attachment has its source in the personality, in what the Buddhists refer to as the desire nature, commitment comes from the soul. In relationship to life, just as in human relationships, attachment closes down options. Commitment opens them up. Many people have found that it is difficult to tell the difference between attachment and commitment to their own lives. Yet attachment leads further and further into entrapment. Commitment, though it may sometimes feel constricting, will ultimately lead to greater degrees of freedom. Both involve in the moment an experience of holding, sometimes against the flow of events or against temptation. One can distinguish between the two in most situations by noticing over time whether one has moved through this activity or this relationship closer to freedom or closer to bondage. Attachment is a reflex, an automatic response, which often may not reflect our deepest good. Commitment is a conscious choice to align ourselves with our most genuine values and our sense of purpose. Thank you. Yeah, she's good. So we have been on a 7-week journey. We have prepared, we have looked back, we have cleared space for the name of God to live, and we've done forgiveness so that we understand that nothing and no one is against us. Now we are looking forward, and we are looking for, the title of this book is to the teachings of Buddha and Jesus that nourish our beautiful, abundant life. Who knew that this was a prosperity book? It's all the principles that we study when we study prosperity. Everybody says, I'm talking about money. It's, money is an important element of this. But that's not really what comes up here. This is all the principles that nourish our beautiful, abundant life. So today we are going to talk about conditions. I talked about conditions at the very beginning of this 7-week series because I believe that the conditions that we create for our lives is the most important conversation that we will have on our spiritual journey. So today we are going to talk about conditions and the conditions that we can commit to. We just heard a lot about how commitment opens our lives, creates freedom, creates more openings for us. So what conditions can we create in our lives that will help to create or manifest that we can realize the beautiful, abundant life that we so desire? So right in the beginning of the book, Janet mentions, she quotes 2 individuals, Buddha and Jesus. Buddha is in a book by Thich Nhat Hanh, and the quote that he says is, when conditions are sufficient, manifestation, no. When conditions are sufficient, there is manifestation. Hear that. When conditions are sufficient, there is manifestation. Now, let's look at what Jesus says. And this comes from when Jesus says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and its righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Neil Douglas Klotz translates Jesus' messages from Matthew into the Aramaic. The Aramaic being a much more organic, much more centered in the Semitic lifestyle. The words mean many, many things. Okay, this is the short version of seek ye first. When we pursue a right relationship with the universal one, and allow this relationship to realign our lives, we produce a condition of receptivity in which anything we need to help us complete our purpose in life will be supplied by the universe. And I just want to read through the longer version, and then I want to go back to it. Jesus always said, do not be anxious about your life. If you're going to be anxious and rush around about anything, do it first about finding the I can, I'll get back to that, of the universe and how it straightens out your life. Line up your starting place with that of the cosmos. Search and ask and boil with impatience until you find the vision of the one being that empowers all your ideas and ideals, that restores our faith and justifies our love. Can I have the next one? All the rest, the universal and endless things of life, will then attach themselves to you as you need them. You will stand at the threshold where completeness arrives naturally and prostration leads to perfection. My favorite line, pouring yourself out makes the universe do the same. So I want to unpack that a little. Can we go back to the first? So it's the next one. the long version. Okay. So if you're going to be anxious and rush around about anything, do it first about the I can of the universe and how it straightens out your life. So this is saying, do not be anxious about your life. What you need to do is seek first the kingdom. You need to align yourself with Malkuta. Malkuta is a word that means the kingdom, or it translates from the Aramaic, the kingdom or queendom, but really it's not gendered. It means ruling principles. So Jesus is saying, align yourself with the ruling principles that guide your life. And Malkuta is also your I can, because when you are under the guise of your ruling principles, you take responsibility for your life. You say, yes, I can do this. I can lead you to the best watering holes. The Malkuta word was actually, came from the same roots as the great goddess mother of the ancient times. So it's the one who says, I can, will take you to the best watering holes, will take you to the best hunting grounds. It's the one that says, I can step out in my life and be who I came here to be because I'm living according to the principles, the ruling principles of the divine. It straightens out your life. Your life starts to take form. Righteousness. Jesus says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and its righteousness. Righteousness is right thinking. When you're aligned with the divine, you are in right thinking. When your mind is aligned with divine mind. Line up your starting place with the cosmos. Get down into the place of original creation, primordial original creation. That's where you align with the divine. That's the place where all creation begins. It begins in darkness. Get in alignment with original creation. And then search and ask and boil with impatience until you have the vision of one being that empowers all your ideas and ideas. That's like, don't quit until you find the divine. When Janet says when she's imagining all God's good coming to her, she imagines it coming in through the windows on sunbeams. And then she says she doesn't quit until it plops on her chest. So my invitation is don't quit asking for alignment. Stay in the silence. Do your affirmations. Do your writing. Do whatever you need to do until you feel that connection, that oneness with the divine, that it's always there. But sometimes it's so hard for us to be still and to stop everything that we do and stop being anxious and stop running around. Stay with it until you have the experience of the divine. And then all the rest, the universal and endless things of life will then attach themselves to you as you need them. Seek first the kingdom of God and its righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. What are the things? Well, they're physical things, but they're also emotional states, mental states, they're achievements, things you want to do with your life. All of this will come to you naturally because you've created an opening for the divine. And the best part, pour yourself out. When you pour yourself out, the universe does the same. When you've aligned yourself with the Spirit, and you've poured out your little ego, and you've stepped into your big self, and you're giving that to the universe, you're just allowing it to flow through you. You become like a hollow flute that the Christ blows its breath through, the Ruha through. You become the doorway, not the doorstop, the doorway, yes, to the divine. So, the gentleman that I wrote about who had the skiing accident needed to repurpose his life, didn't he? And it had nothing to do with his foot. Realigning with the divine meant he was not looking any longer at his limitations, but he was looking at his whole life and his relationship with his wife and what he had to give, how he could be. He was caught in an attachment. Anybody ever get caught in an attachment? I moved my horse last Friday to a new barn. And my agenda was, oh boy, this new barn, we get to ride in all these great new places. They have trails and all these jumps to go on. And I get there and everything's fine for about 5 minutes. And then she sees the chickens. Who knew? Chickens were kind of like donkeys. They smell funny. I don't know what it is, but she was like above air. She was, the nostrils get as big as a dragon's. Snorting and snorting. The eyes get white in the back. And she goes, chickens? Ah, I'm really scared of chickens. Chickens, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I have spent a week doing the chicken walk. We walk by the chickens. One time I got past the chickens. So, of course, the chickens are placed right between the two pathways that go to all the riding places. So you have to go by the chickens to get to the riding places. One time I got down there and I couldn't get back 20 minutes before somebody came to help me. Oh, my heavens. Do I have an agenda? Yeah, I had an agenda. I had to let go of that agenda real fast. What do I really want? What do I really want are the conditions that I've created for my life. And one of those conditions is to be awake, to be present, to be in relationship, and to give and give and give love. So this was a great opportunity for our relationship to grow and to change. I just had to let go. I had to let go of what my agenda was, my attachment. So when I was thinking about conditions, so what are conditions? Conditions are a way of being. It's who you are being that creates a receptivity to the blessings of God, right? I'll talk a little bit more about them. When I was thinking about them, I have a prayer that I say, the prayer of the chalice. I say it every morning, just about, and I do my salutation to the sun with it. And I realized it was so much the conditions. It was about being an opening. So, I'm going to demonstrate. Because it's a great prayer, so I really want you to learn it. So if you want it, email me. Holy Spirit, to thee I raise my whole being, a vessel empty of self. Look out. Accept, O Lord, this my emptiness. And so fill me with thy love, thy life, and thy light, that these thy perfect gifts might radiate through me and overflow the vessel of my heart into the hearts of all those I come in contact with today, revealing unto them the beauty of thy wonder and joy and the serenity of thy peace, which nothing can destroy. Amen. Oh, dear. Am I all right? Am I tucked in? How's my hair? Okay. Deal. So, when you're creating conditions, when I started creating my conditions, I came up with 16. You write and you write and you write. So you have a whole lot of conditions. I ended up with 6. What is suggested by Janet is that you get them down, hone them down, because this is what you want to live by. So you want to remember them. There was something in one of the sayings about standing in a line. Stand in the starting place. Stand in the starting place of the universe. What Janet would do is she made an intention mandala. It had all her conditions on it, and she would stand in front of it every morning and say her conditions. And that's what we want to remember them, so we want to be able to carry them with us. So conditions are a way. So mine were, I want to be in high vibration. I want to love. I want to give. I want to trust. I want to be fully present. And I want to do fun things with people. There's one more. I can't remember what it was. But anyway, so you want those conditions. So if you are having a challenge figuring out what your conditions are, I have some questions. I'm sorry, Frank. I got this. This is the one I want before the Akashic record. If you can find those questions. Goody. Things to ask. That was it. How do you want to live? How do you want to be? How do you want to show up? That would lead you to conditions. How do you stay aligned with spirit? How do you seek first the kingdom? What do you do in your practices? How do you stay open? How do you, how do we keep our fields nourished? How do we keep ourselves fertile, being open and receptive? What conditions would we create? How are we living when we feel most fully alive? The Unity on the River has 4 intentions. We are to be a beacon of light to the greater New England area. We have a fully engaged, committed community. We have coherent, cohesive communication, and we have transformational Sunday and Wednesday services. Now, if we took those intentions and put them on a mandala, then we can put under them conditions. So I want to ask you to say out loud, if we were to be a beacon of light to the whole New England community, what would we have to be? What would our conditions be? If we wanted to be say, anything come to mind? Joy. High vibration. In service, in love.
Good groove.
In what?
Good groove.
Good groove. The musician speaking. If we were to have a fully engaged, committed community, what would we need to be? Prosperous. Empty. And what? Communication. That's another one. We have coherent communication, cohesive communication. Doing the art and practice. Everybody stepping in, everybody doing their part, everybody giving of their gifts. A fully engaged, committed community. We are willing, open, right? And so if we have coherent communication, coherent something communication, good communication, what would that look like? No gossip. Oh, thank you. Yeah, no gossip. So everybody speaks their truth. Speak to the person that you're having an issue with. Yes. Go directly. Sorry, say it again.
According to the Buddha, right speech.
Right speech. Like righteousness, being in alignment with the divine. Right. Somebody said listen. That's a really good one. Yeah. And then the last one, transformational Sunday services and Wednesday services. Oh, we already do. Yeah, anyway. Okay. So those are just things to think about, because I know we're working on this vision and we're working on creating an intention mandala for the church. So Lisa is not here today, but she was moving forward with that. In the Akashic record, now, Janet, I'm not sure, because I never understood whether she intuits this or gets it when she goes into the Akashic record, the whole record of the universe, or if it's actually written down somewhere in physical. But this is what she said. It says, the kingdom is the reality of living in the human body, but through the everyday laws of spirit. When one lives following only laws that are human, there's pain and frustration and agony. When one lives through spiritual laws and divine nature, then the human experience becomes heaven on earth. This is the kingdom, Malkuta. It is bringing that which exists beyond the physical realm with the guidance of Christ consciousness into human beings. So if we're just living by human laws, that's why everybody tells you this is the way it is, and this is what the culture's doing, and you must, your parents tell you you're crazy because you want to become a musician, or you're, we're going by human laws, and we're not giving any room to Holy Spirit. If you're saying, I can't give this away because I won't have any money left, or I can't do this amount of time because I won't have any time left, we're not giving any room to Holy Spirit. Jesus said, you might be sleeping, but the Father is always working. The universe, there's energies that are going on in the universe that are not visible. They're in the realm beyond the visible. They're not in the physical realm, but they're always working. What we're doing is creating conditions so that those energies can move through us and help us create the abundant, beautiful life that we long to have. But we have to understand that we can't always do what our parents tell us that we need to do, and the culture tells us what we need to do, and what might be logical. Sometimes life, in the spiritual realm is not logical. When you come to an end of an experience, we also have some people tell you to have glads and sorries. And, as I come closer to the end of my time, one of my sorries will always be that I haven't been able to bring spiritual law to be the only law in our board of trustees. It is the only law, and we are a business, so we have to be a business, and we are spiritual, we have to be spiritual, and we're continually doing this balancing act. And I trust in spiritual law, and I sometimes don't do it myself, but I would love us to be more in alignment with spiritual law. So let's just hold that truth for the future. So if we do a really good job of it, I'm not saying we don't, because we do. It's just a challenging balancing act. So where was I? Oh, which brings me to commitment. Commitments sometimes don't feel logical, do they? If I make a commitment to this, then I won't be able to do that. If I make a commitment to give my money, there won't be enough, and in the future I might not have enough. If I can make a commitment to serve, then I maybe not, I won't have the time, or I won't have time for something else. I spoke in the first week about Jesus' parable of the sower, sowing seeds. We give these teachings here, and sometimes the seeds fall on barren ground, hard and rocky soil. And people, some people don't even hear the spiritual teachings. Sometimes we put the seeds in places where there's there's weeds and thorns that choke. And so people start the spiritual practices, but then when it gets hard, they don't do it anymore. And some of the seed falls on fertile ground. And then it gestates and it blossoms. It pushes through the ground and blossoms. You know the people that are doing the spiritual practices, don't you? Look around. They're all around you. So many of you hear these spiritual truths, but faith without works is dead. We are in an adventure in faith, but part of that adventure in faith is faith in action. Unless we put this faith into action, it's just you hear the stuff and the weeds are going to choke it. Until you practice these things, they don't become real. They don't become a part of your soul. So today, Jackie's going to talk about this a little more afterwards, about commitments and about financial commitments. Because that's the place where the greatest faith will grow. Because it's the scariest place. When we make a financial commitment, that's the place that scares us the most. And guess what? We don't grow spiritually because of the things happening to us. We grow when we surrender. When we surrender to the Spirit, the guidance and the direction, when we align ourselves in the starting place with the cosmos. So, okay, slinky time. Anybody bring their slinkers? Let's set intentions. With the left hand, we are going to set intentions. Today, I invite you to set the intention of figuring out what your conditions are. Who do you want to be so that you can create the beautiful, abundant life that you want? And I invite you to set the intention to have a soul day, one whole day with God. I'm having mine next Sunday when you're with Michael Meir, Dad. Think of me. I'll be having my soul day. I set the intention to do an intention mandala, to create a visual picture of your life in the future, 2014 or whatever period that you want to do. Set those intentions today. And then gratitude. So lots to be grateful for on this adventure and faith that we have been. And I want to give thanks to Janet Connor for her book, Lotus and the Lily. I want to give thanks to Susan Coburn and Nancy Reese for creating our home study guides. And I have a list of people that I want to thank that did the, let's see. Good. The altar. So now, Dennis did it today. Is that correct? Denise, I saw you. Okay. So I want to give thanks to Susan Coburn, Bev Mitchell, Anita Moscante, Louise Kramer, Denise Dennis, Karen Thorson, Bill Free, and Lisa Natoli. And I would like those people to stand up so we can see you. If there's anybody here in that group, stand up. Thank you. And how about all the people that facilitated or held study groups? Would you stand up so we can see you and give you thanks? Yeah. All right. Beautiful. Thank you. Stay up. All right, now, how about everybody who participated in a study group? You stand up. Okay, yeah, now we're talking. Great. Yes. And how about everybody who's participated on a Sunday or a Wednesday? Would you stand up? Everybody, yay! Okay, so today I want you to remember, a rising tide lifts all boats. You, as you be lifted, when you do this spiritual work, you lift everyone around you. Unity on the River is in the year of emergence. Unity on the River is rising. Welcome aboard. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you. Okay, so let's move into our time of meditation. Let's take a deep breath. Remove anything from your lap that might encumber you. Find a comfortable place in your seat, and the choir will bring us in.
Into your hands I commit my spirit. Into your hands I commit my soul. Into your hands I surrender. Into your hands, oh Lord. Into your hands, I commit my spirit. Into your hands, I commit my soul. I commit my soul into your hands. I surrender. I surrender. I surrender into your hands. Into your hands. Oh Lord.
Into your hands. I commit my spirit into your hands. I commend my soul, my body, my life, all unforgiven states, I give to you. I surrender. Surrender is that wonderful joining, that coming together, that place of letting go and waking up and realizing the divine. Surrender. Surrender is a condition, one of the conditions that allows us to be an opening for the divine. What would your life be like if you allowed Holy Spirit to have all the room it needed? What if you surrendered? What if we let go of our attachments and our agendas? And what if we made a commitment to pour ourselves out? As we pour out, the universe does the same. It pours itself into us. Pour yourself in me, we sometimes say. What other conditions might make you open and receptive to the living Spirit of God? How would you like to live your life? Who do you want to be? What feels most valuable to you? What brings you joy? What makes your heart sing? How do you want to be? What are your conditions? I invite you to ask this question of your own inner voice in the silence. Your conditions are the most valuable conversation that you will have with your voice. Who do I want to be so that I might be receptive to the living Spirit of God? When conditions are sufficient, there is a manifestation. When conditions are sufficient, there is a manifestation. We don't put our attention on the things, but on the conditions. And all these things shall be added unto us. And so I invite you at this time, if there are those that you would like to hold in prayer, I invite you to bring them into your hearts and speak their names together out loud. We hold in loving light the prayers of this prayer box. We see them infilled with sparkles of light, lifting the individuals that we are praying for and those who have given the prayers in God's right and perfect ways. Thank you, God. Your hand, I commit my spirit into your hands. I commit my soul into your hands. I surrender into your hands. Oh Lord,
commit my spirit into your hands.
Into your hands.
I commit my soul
Into your hands. I commit my soul.
into your hands.
Into your hands.
I surrender. I surrender. I surrender into your hands.
Into your hands.
Oh Lord, into your hands.
Into your hands.
I commit my spirit.
Your hands.
I commit my spirit into your hands.
Into your hands.
I commit my soul.
Your hands.
I commit my soul into your hands.
Into your hands.
Into your hands. Oh, yeah. Oh, Lord. Into your hands. Join us. Into your hands, oh Lord. Into your hands. Into your hands. I surrender.
Beautiful. Thank you. We will be receiving our love offerings and tithes in just a few minutes, and I invite everyone out there in streaming land to join us. Jane, anybody? Are there any of the purple bags back there? 'Cause we are also going to be receiving the commitments, the financial commitments. So I'm wondering if the purple bags are out back there. It'd be nice to separate them. Anybody see the purple bags? All right. If they're not there, we could just mix them in. So before we do that, we have chaplains available for service today. If they would stand, please, or raise their hand so we can recognize you. These chaplains are here for you, and they know the truth for you. They will hold your prayers in total confidentiality, and they will bless you. Be sure to see them after the end of the service. All right. So, Jackie Woodside, you want to come on up here for a minute and talk to us about commitment? Yeah.
Good morning. Stand in the presence. Namaste. Namaste. So Shipley asked me to say a few words today because last week and this week we've been talking about our commitment and how we express our commitment through our financial giving to our church. And I loved the reading that you did from Rachel Naomi Raymond about committed, not attached. So I want to ask you to tell the truth. How many of you are a little attached to this church the way that it is? Attached, like you have emotional investment in this church. Like that if it were gone tomorrow, you'd be upset about that. Right? Yeah, we're attached to the way that our church is. I'm attached. How many of you are attached to Shipley as our minister? Yeah. Such a lovely process that we're going through, isn't it? As Shipley prepares to retire in 6 months, and we prepare to send her off and to maintain this church in the legacy for Shipley, the founding minister of our church. And here's the thing. None of that's going to happen without are also heartfelt and action-oriented commitment. Like, do you get that? You know, Unity is a small denomination that is about 110, 115 years old. So Unity on the River does not have like the mother church of Unity that sustains us financially. Although it certainly sustains us a lot with spiritual food and guidance and direction, and it's lovely to have the Association of Unity Churches, Unity Worldwide Ministries, and our affiliation with that. But this center is a self-sustaining center. We are Unity on the River. So in last week and this week, what we think about is, what is our commitment to this church? Many of us commit to this church through our time. I didn't introduce myself, but for those of you who don't know, I'm the president of the Board of Trustees and have been for many years. That's one of the ways I commit my talent. I do organizational development work and consulting, so I have a skill in that area. I commit my talent, I commit my time on emails and at board meetings and retreats and trainings and things like that. And I'm a tither. I commit 10% of my income back to this church, to Unity on the River. So that's my commitment. I'm happy to say it publicly. And now I ask you to look, what is your commitment? Some of you might be like, man, 10% of my income? That's like as much as my car payment. That's almost as much as my mortgage. Yes, I understand that. So I just will have you look as we fill out these forms. So in your bulletin booklet today, there's a green sheet with an envelope in it. And it asks you to look to see how are you going to stretch and grow in your commitment to this organization. And I will add, particularly this year, as we go through this transition of Shipley's retirement and bringing in an interim minister and then moving forward to hire a new minister, it's a time that we're going to need extra finances to sustain the operations of this church. I know that one of my commitments in life is to grow. If I'm not growing, I'm dying. And I want to grow in every single way. So one of the ways I look to grow is in my capacity to give, in my desire to give. So look to see if, where are you called? 10% of your income? Why not? You could start there. If you need to adjust it, you can call the church. Start with 7% of your income and then adjust up. Call the church. But what I know is that as you grow and stretch in faith and in commitment, Spirit rises up and gives you all kinds of manifestations and experiences that you would not have had otherwise. I have never, since becoming a tither, have a financial need go unmet. Never. Ever, 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 ever. So I invite you to fill out your form this week. If anyone wants to talk to me about it after church today and my experience with tithing and giving and how my life has just flourished in so many ways, the adoption of my son. That's a really expensive endeavor, but when we took on that commitment financially, every single time that we needed to make one of those big lump sum payments, we had the money. It was literally a miracle. When we started that process, we did not have the money to do it, and we did it with no debt. And I say that's the manifestation of Spirit, not just having faith in your head, but putting faith in action in your life through financial commitments and commitments of your heart and soul to where you are spiritually fed. So I hope you'll all join me this year. Fill out those cards. It helps us as the Board of Trustees to plan our budget for the coming year, knowing what your financial commitments are going to be. And then this year, starting in 2014, we're going to give you quarterly updates on here's what your commitment was and here's where you are. So you'll know, and you can adjust your giving accordingly. So we're going to begin that this year. We haven't officially made that decision, but I just really feel like we need to do it. So I figure what better way than to tell 200 people, we're going to do that this year. Thank you.
That was great, Catherine. Thank you. So, Jackie, we've had these forms in the program for 3 weeks, and we really want to bless them today. If people can take a minute now to fill them out. If it takes you longer, that's all right. We'll accept them at any time. But it's really nice to call them all in together and bless them all together. So it'll be just a couple of minutes. Do we happen to find those purple bags by any chance? Oh, we do have purple bags. Okay, so when we do pass the bags around, the purple one's the one you can put your financial commitment in. All right, John Davy, do you want to come on up here a minute? has something special to say. Let me check. Thought I had you on.
Namaste. I behold Christ in each and every one of you. We have this church, and the main column that holds it is Shipley. And we also have the main beams of this church that help to hold together. And these beams represent some of the people here. And one such person here at Unity of the River, without ever thinking of it, 17 years ago, joined the church without ever thinking of being a member. And gradually over the time, he has become a member. And he has done a lot for this church, behind the scenes, unseen, each week, always dedicated to what he does. Look around you. Light bulbs get changed. The banners get hung. All kinds of repairs get done. And he moves the chairs quite often. He's also been a member of the Board of Trustees. He was president one term. And I could go on, but let's bring up Jim McQuaid.
Yoo-hoo! Yeah.
And I would like to take this opportunity to honor Jim. And now, if you will join me on behalf of Unity on the River, I give to Jim this golden hammer. Jim, we honor you. We bless you. We appreciate you. We behold the Christ in you. Thank you for all you have done.
John's going away for a while, and he wanted to. How long are you going to be gone?
Sometime in January.
Okay. Just a couple more of announcements that I would like to just fill in here. I guess I can do that now. So we've been talking about the 2014 commitment. We're going to just take a minute to really let you sit with that. But just a reminder, there's a baby shower for Erica and Greg on November 24th. There's Erica, Mama's here. There they are, right? Art and practice starts on the 24th, too. This is the class you've been waiting for. It's time. Art and practice, yes?
Yes, Annie Breyer called and left a message this morning. She's unable, but you have a larger green sheet. She'd like you to call her from home, or if you'd like to sign up.
Oh, that's
There's
nice.
also a sign up in hospitality.
Okay, thank you. Beautiful. Thanksgiving evening celebration, dinner, and service. This is on the 27th of November, the night before Thanksgiving. We love to have everybody bring something in. Sometimes people bring in turkeys. We're going to have one or two turkeys that we supply, but we very much need some helpers to set up and to take down. So we have sign-up sheets out in the fellowship area. Let's make it an evening of gratitude like we've never seen. That's going to be a great night. Okay, and thank you from Mary Ann. Is there any other announcements? No. Okay. So can we just give them a minute to fill out their forms, to fill out your commitment forms, to go into your heart and just allow yourself to be centered. Seek first the kingdom, align yourself in the starting place. What is my financial commitment to Unity on the River for the year 2014? Just listen to your own inner voice. All right, and so let's say the blessing of the tithes and offerings for our blessings and our offerings today. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you. Purple bag for commitments, blue bags for our tithes and offerings.
Pour yourself in me, pour yourself into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit, pour yourself in me, pour yourself into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit, pour yourself in me, pour yourself into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit. Pour yourself in me, pour yourself into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit. Pour yourself in me, pour yourself into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit, pour yourself in me, pour yourself into my heart. Whoa. yourself in me. Pour yourself into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit.
Bless the offerings first, and then if we could have the commitments, that'd be great. Know that Spirit of the living God is moving in this room through every individual here. We are all openings. We are all flutes that allow Spirit to whisper through us and blow its breath through us. So we thank you that the energies in these offerings given by each one here, they have given from the heart, they give out of love. We're so grateful for their prosperity consciousness that grows and expands daily as they realize the presence of God. They realize who they came here to be. They realize their conditions, that they might bring forth the beautiful, abundant life that they long to have. And so we know these offerings will touch and heal and transform consciousness on the planet. So be it. Thank you. And the commitments here, let's bring them up. Beautiful. Lovely. When one is committed, there is no more hesitancy, no more stepping back. It's like stepping into a new avenue, and doors open. And it allows, you are pouring yourself out so that the Spirit can pour itself in you. So I bless these commitments. We know that they come from the Spirit. And we know and see them fulfilled in right and perfect ways. And we know that the ones who have made these commitments stand fully in the presence. They are blessed and they are expanded. And so it is. Amen and amen. More. Good. Thank you. Lovely. All right. We have some gratitude. Yes, thank you. So I just want to see if there's any Board of Trustees. I've seen a lot of Board of Trustee members. If you would stand so people can recognize you. Greg Meyer and John Davey and Mark Snyder and Jackie Woodside and Kate McKay are here. Anything that you would like held or anything that you would like them to know and talk to them about, they are there for you. I am so grateful for this music team. Sherry did so great today. Yeah. The list is endless of how many people are behind the scenes. And I am so grateful for the cleaning team. My office has never been the same. I just want to bring that one up today. Yeah. So thank you, God. And let's bring on Brian Dozer. Yes.
It's time. I think it's time. It's time for the dead and gone, time for the broken ones to live again. It's time for the dead to rise, time for the wings to fly, to live again. I can hear the calling, I can hear the sound of rain. Over the mountains, over the valleys, I hear the calling, it's time. Over the mountains, over the valleys, I hear the calling, it's time. It's time for the dead to sing, time for the walls to ring with songs of freedom. It's time for the wounds to heal, time for the numb to feel songs of freedom. can hear the calling. I can hear the sound of rain. Over the mountains and over the valleys, I hear the calling, and it's time. Over the mountains and over the valleys, I hear the calling, and it's time. It's time for the tide to turn. Oh, it's time for our hearts to burn with a desperation. It's time for a sacrifice. It's time that we paid the price for our generation. Oh, I can hear the calling. I can hear the sound of rain. Over the mountains and over the valleys, I hear the calling, and it's time. Over the mountains and over the valleys, I hear the calling, and it's time. I think it's time for Keith. Oh, it's time for the wings to fly. I hear the calling, it's time. It's time for the numb to feel. Yes, it's time for the wounds to heal. I hear the calling, it's time. It's time that we pay the price. Yes, it's time for a sacrifice. Oh, I hear the calling. It's time. Let's bring it home. Over the cities, all through the nations, I hear the calling. It's time. Over the cities, all through the nations, I hear the calling, and it's
All right, Brian. Doing double time today, sound and music. Hallelujah. So the children are watching a movie, the Jacob's many-colored Technicolor, da-da-da-da. Yeah, so let's rise and sing our peace song. I forgot my...
Friendly
Today, let us remember, when conditions are sufficient, there is a manifestation. The light of God surrounds us. We are the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love of God. The power of God protects us. We are the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. We are the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And we are richly blessed. Go in peace.
I can find it with the lyrics, so with the spirit. I'll check in and give you a shout. You want anything, you know? All right. Just say it. Anything or that's an awesome fun too. No, Katie was